Time to go to bed, Modern Warfare 2. We're on Chapter 3. But the sad thing is, Mommy has business to do. So, I'm gonna have my good friend take care of you. Don't worry. I'll read you Chapter 4 tomorrow, if I'm not busy with work. But guess what? He brought your best friend over. Oh, just come on in.
How are you doing? I hope Modern Warfare 3 can join you. I can take care of them for the night.
Alright, baby. I hope you enjoy your night. Since she's gone, let's get this on the road, you little shits. Tuck you little fuckers in. And let's begin.
Chapter 3. Kate is ecstatic. What was he doing at Clayton's? Her curiosity oozes through the phone. I'm in the depths of the stockroom, trying to keep my voice casual. He was in the area. I think that was one huge coincidence, Anna. You don't think he was there to see you? My heart lurches at the prospect, but it's a short-lived joy. The dull, disappointing reality is that he was here on business. He was visiting the farm division at Washington State University. He's funding some research, I mutter. Oh, yes. He's given the department a $2.5 million grant. Wow. How do you know this? Anna, I'm a journalist, and I've written a profile on the guy. It's my job to know this. Okay. Carla Bernstein, keep your hair on. So do you want these photos? Of course I do. The question is, who's going to do them and where? Oh, Penny. We could ask him where. He says he's staying in the area. You can contact him? I have his cell phone number. Kate gasped. The richest, most elusive, most enigmatic bachelor in the Washington State just gave you his cell phone number? Yes. Anna, he likes you. No doubt about it. Her tone is empathetic. Kate, he's just trying to be nice. But even as I say the words, I know they're not true. Christian Grey doesn't do nice. He does polite, but maybe. In a small, quiet voice whispers, perhaps Kate is right. My scalp prickles at the idea that maybe, just maybe, he might be like me. After all, he did say he was glad Kate didn't go to the interview. I hug myself with a quiet glee, rocking from side to side, entertaining the possibility that he might like me. Kate brings me back to the now. I don't know who will get to do the shoot. Levy, our regular photographer, can't. He's home in Idaho Falls for the weekend. He'll be pissed that he blew an opportunity to photograph one of America's leading entrepreneurs. What about Jose? Great idea, you ask him. He'll do anything for you. Then call Gray and find out where he wants us. Kate is readily chevalier about Jose. I think you should call him. Who? Jose? Kate scoffs. No, Gray. Anna, you're the one with the relationship. Relationship? I squeak at her, my voice rising several octaves. I barely know the guy. At least you've met him, she says bitterly. And it looks like he wants to know you better. Anna, just call him. She snaps and hangs up. She is so bossy sometimes. I frown at my cell phone, sticking my tongue out at it. I'm just leaving a message for Jose when Paul enters the stockroom looking for sandpaper. We're kind of busy out there, Anna. Because we're always on the case, he says without encomium. Yeah, sorry, I mutter, turning to leave. So how come you know Christian Grey? Paul's voice is unconvincingly nonchalant. I had to interview him for our student newspaper. Kate wasn't well. I shrug, trying to sound casual and doing no better than him. Kristen Gray and Clayton's. Go figure. Paul snorts, amazed. He shakes his head as if to clear it. Anyway, want to grab a drink or something this evening? Whenever he's home, he asks me on a date, and I always say no. It's a ritual. I've always never considered it a good idea to date the boss's brother, and besides, Paul is cute in a wholesome, all-American boy-next-door kind of way. But he's no literary hero, and not by any stretch of the imagination. Is Gray? My subconscious asks me, her eyebrow figuratively raised. I slap her down. Don't you have a family dinner or something for your brother? That's tomorrow. Maybe some other time, Paul. I need to study tonight. I have my finals next week. Anna, one of these days you'll say yes. He smiles and I escape to the store floor. But I do places, Anna, not people. Jose groans. Jose, please! I beg. I pace the living room of our apartment, clutching my cell and staring out the window at the fading evening light. Give me that phone. Kate grabs the headset from me, tossing her silken reddish blonde hair over her shoulder. Listen here, Jose Rodriguez. If you want our newspaper to cover the opening of your show, you'll do this shoot for us tomorrow. Capisce? Kate can be awesomely, though, tough. Good. Anna will call back with the location and the call time. We'll see you tomorrow. She snaps my phone off, because she's always on the case. Sorted. All we need to do now is decide where and when to call him. She holds the phone out to me. My stomach twists. Call Greg now. I scowl at her and reach into my back pocket for his business card. I take a deep, steady breath, and with the shaking fingers, I dial the number. He answers on the second ring. His tone is clipped, calm, and cold. Gray? Mr. Gray? It's Anastasia Steele. I don't recognize my own voice. I'm so nervous. There's a brief pause, inside my quaking. Miss Steele, how nice to hear from you. His voice has changed. He's surprised, I think, and he sounds so warm and seductive even. My breath hitches, and I flush. I'm suddenly conscious that Catherine Canave is staring at me. Her mouth opens, and I dart into the kitchen to avoid her unwanted scrutiny. We'd like to go ahead with the photo shoot for the article. Breathe, Penny, breathe. My lungs drag in a hasty breath. Tomorrow, if that's okay. Where would you be convenient for you, sir? I can almost hear his sphinx-like smile through the phone. I'm staying at the Heath in Portland. Shall we say 9:30 tomorrow morning? Okay, we'll see you there. And I'm all gushing and breathy, like a child, not a grown woman who could vote and drink legally in the state of Washington. I look forward to it, Miss Steele. I visualize the wicked gleam in his eyes. How can he make 7 little words hold so much tantalizing promise? I hang up. Kate is in the kitchen, and she's staring at me with a look of complete and utter consternation on her face. Anastasia Rose Steele, you like him, and I've never seen or heard you so so affectionate by anyone before. You're actually blushing. Oh, Kate, you know I go blush all the time. It's an occupational hazard with me. Don't be ridiculous. I snap. She blinks at me with a surprise. I verily have hissy fits, and I briefly relent. I just find him intimidating, that's all. Heathman, that figures, mutters Kate. I'll give him the manager a call and negotiate a space for the shoot. I'll make supper, and then I need to study. I cannot hide my irritation with her as I open the go-go gadget cupboards to make supper. I am restless at night, tossing and turning, dreaming of smoky gray eyes, coveralls, long legs, long fingers, and a dark, unexplored places. I wake twice in the night. My heart is pounding. Oh, I'm going to look just great tomorrow with so little sleep. I scold myself. I punch my pillow and try to settle. The Heathman is nestled in the heart of downtown Portland. Its impressive brownstone edifice was completed just in time for the crash of the late 1920s. Jose, Travis, and I are traveling in my Beetle, and Kate is in her CLK, since we can't all fit in my car. Travis is Jose's friend and gopher, here to help out with the lighting. Kate has managed to acquire the use of a room at the Heathman free of charge for the morning in exchange for a credit in the article. When she explains at the reception that we're here to photograph Christian Grey, CEO, we are instantly upgraded to a suite. Just a regular size suite. However, as apparently Mr. Grey is already occupying the largest one in the building. As a overkeen marketing executive shows up to the suite, he's terribly young and very nervous for some reason. I suspect Kate's beauty and commanding manner disarm him, because he's pretty in her hands. The room is elegant, understated, and opulent furnished. It's 9. We have half an hour to set up, and Kate is in full flow. Jose, I think we'll shoot against that wall. Do you agree? She doesn't wait for his reply. Travis, clear the chairs. Anna, could you ask the housekeeping to bring up some refreshments? And let Gray know where we are. Yes, mistress. She is so domineering. I roll my eyes, but do as I told. Half an hour later, Christian Grey walks into our suite. Holy crap! He's wearing a white shirt, open at the collar, and gray flannel pants that hang out from his hips. His unruly hair is still damp from a shower. My mouth goes dry looking at him. He's so freaking hot! Gray is followed into the suite by a man in his mid-30s, all buzz-cut and stubble in a sharp dark suit and tie, who stands there silently in the corner. His hazel eyes watch us passively. Miss Steele, we meet again. Gray extends his go-go gadget hand, and I shake it, blinking rapidly. Oh my! He's really quite, as I touch his hand, aware of the delicious current running right through me, lighting me up, making me blush, and I'm sure my erratic breathing must be audible. Mr. Gray, this is Catherine Donovan, I mutter, waving my hand towards Kate, who comes forward, looking him squarely in the eye. The tenacious Miss Conover, how do you do? He gives her a small smile, looking generally amused. I trust you're feeling better? Anastasia said you were unwell last week. I'm fine. Thank you, Mr. Gray. She shakes his hand firmly without batting an eyelid. I remind myself that Kate has been to the best private schools in Washington, and her family has money. And she grows up confident and sure of her place in the world. She doesn't take any crap, and I am in awe of her. Thank you for taking this time to do this. She gives him a polite, professional smile. It's a pleasure, he answers, turning his gaze on me. And I flush again. Damn it. This is Jose Rodriguez, our photographer. I say, grinning at Jose, who smiles with affection back at me. His eyes cool when he looks from me to Gray. Mr. Gray, he nods. Mr. Rodriguez. Gray's expression changes too, as he appraises Jose. What would you like me? Gray asks. His tone sounds vaguely threatening. But Catherine is not about to let Jose run the show. Mr. Gray, if you could sit here, please. Be careful of the lightning cables. And then we'll do some few standing too. She directs me to the chair set up against the wall. Travis switches on the lights, momentarily blinding Gray, and mutters an apology. Then Travis and I stand back up and watch as Jose proceeds to snap away. He takes several photographs, hand-held, asking Gray to turn this way, then that, to move his arm, then to put it down again. Moving to the tripod, Jose takes several more. Gray sits and poses, patiently and naturally, for about 20 minutes. My wish has come true. I can stand and admire Gray from not so far. Twice our eyes lock, and I have to tear myself away from his cloudy gaze. Enough sitting. Catherine wades in again. Standing, Mr. Gray? She asks. He stands, and Travis scurries in to remove the chair. The shutter on Jose's Nikon starts clicking again. I think we have enough, Jose announces 5 minutes later. Great, says Kate. Thank you again, Mr. Gray. She shakes his hand, as does Jose. I look forward to reading the article, Miss Canavay, murmurs Gray, and turns to me, standing by the door. Will you walk with me, Miss Steele? He asks. Sure, I say, completely thrown. I glance anxiously at Kate, who shrugs at me. I notice Jose scowling behind her. Good day to you all, says Gray, as he opens the door, standing aside to allow me out first. Holy hell! What's this about? What does he want? I pause in the hotel corridor, fidgeting nervously as Gray emerges from the room, followed by Mr. Buzzcut in his sharp suit. I'll call you, Taylor, he murmurs to Buzzcut. Taylor wanders back down the corridor, and Gray turns his burning gray gaze to me. Sound like gay. Crap! Have I done something wrong? I wonder if you would join me for coffee this morning. Oh! My heart slams into my mouth. A date? Christian Gray is asking me out on a date. He's asking if you want coffee. If you want coffee! Maybe he thinks you haven't woken up yet. My subconscious wanes at me in a sneering mood again. I clear my throat, trying to control my nerves. I have to drive everyone home. I murmur apologetically, twisting my hands and fingers in front of me. Taylor, he calls, making me jump. Taylor, who has been retreated down the corridor, turns and heads back towards us. Are they based at the university? Gray asks, his voice soft and inquiring. I nod, too stunned to speak. Taylor, can you take them? He's my driver. We have a large 4x4 here. so he'll be able to take the equipment too. Mr. Gray, Taylor asks when he reaches us, giving nothing away. Please, can you drive the photograph, his assistant, and Miss Conaway back home? Certainly, sir, Taylor replies. There, now you can join me for coffee. Gray smiles if it's a done deal. I frown. Mr. Gray? This really? Look, Taylor doesn't have to drive them home. I flash a brief look at Taylor, who remains stylically impressed. I'll swap vehicles with Kate if you give me a moment. Gray smiles at a dazzling, unguarded, natural, all teeth showing, glorious smile. Oh my! He opens the door of the suite so I can go in. I scoot around him to re-enter the room, finding Catherine in a deep discussion with Jose. Anna, I think he definitely likes you, she says with no preamble whatsoever. Jose glares at me with disapproval, but I don't trust him, she adds. I raise my hand up in the hope that she'll stop talking. By some miracle, she does. Kate, if you take Wanda, can I take your car? Why? Christian Grey has asked me to go out for coffee with him. Her mouth pops wide open. Speechless, Kate. I savor the moment. She grabs me by the arm and drags me into the bedroom that's off the living area of the suite. Anna, there's something about him. Her tone is full and warning. He's gorgeous, I agree, but I think he's dangerous, especially for someone like you. What do you mean, someone like me? I demand, affronted. An innocent like you, Anna? You know what I mean, she says, as a little irritated. I flush. Kate, it's just coffee. I'm starting my exams this week, and I need to study, so I won't be long. She purses her lips as if considering my request. Finally, she fishes her car keys out of her pocket and hands them to me. I hand her mine. I'll see you later. Don't be long, or I'll send out a search and rescue. Thanks. I hug her. I emerge from the suite to find Christian Grey waiting, leaning up against the wall, looking like a male model in a pose for some glossy high-end magazine. Okay, let's do coffee, I murmur, flushing a beet red. He grins. After you, Miss Penny. He stands up straight, holding his hand out for me to go first. I make my way down the corridor, my knees shaky, my stomach full of butterflies, and my heart in my mouth thumping a dramatic, uneven beat. I'm going to have coffee with Mr. Grey, Christian Grey, and I hate coffee. We walk together down the wide hotel corridor to the elevators. What should I say to him? My mind is suddenly paralyzed with apprehension. What are we going to talk about? What on earth do I have in common with him? His soft, warm voice startles me from my reverie. How long have you known Catherine Conaway? Oh, that's an easy question for starters. Since our freshman year, she's a great friend. He replies non-committedly. What is he thinking? At the elevators, he presses the call button, and the bell rings almost immediately. The doors slide open, revealing a young couple in a passionate embrace inside. Surprised and unembarrassed, they jump apart, staring guiltily in every direction but ours. Gray and I step into the elevator. I am struggling to maintain a straight face, so I gaze down at the floor, feeling my cheeks turning pink. When I peek up at Gray through my lashes, he has a hint of a smile on his lips, but it's very hard to tell. The young couple says nothing, and we travel down to the first floor in a burst silence. We don't even have a bland pipe elevator music to distract us. The doors open, and much to my surprise, Gray takes my hand, clasping it with his long, cool fingers. I feel the current run through me, and my already rapid heartbeat accelerates as he leads me out the elevator. We can hear the surprised giggles of the couple erupting behind us. Gray grins. "What is it about elevators?" he mutters. We cross the expansive, bustling lobby of the hotel toward the entrance, but Gray avoids the revolving door, and I wonder if that's because he will have to let go of my hand. Outside, it's a mild May Sunday. The sun is shining and the traffic is light. Gray turns left and strolls to the corner, and where we wait for the crosswalk to change. He's still holding my hand. I'm in the street, and Christian Gray is holding my hand. No one has ever held my hand. I feel giddy, and I tingle all inside. I attempt to smother the ridiculous grin that threatens to split my face in two. "Try to be cool, Anna," my self-conscious implores me. The green man appears, and we're off again. The green man. We walk 4 blocks before we reach the Portland Coffee House, where Gray releases me to hold the door open so I could step inside. "Why don't you choose a table while I get the drinks? What would you like?" he asks, polite as ever. "I'll have, English breakfast tea. Bag out." He raises his eyebrow. "No coffee?" "I'm not keen on coffee." He smiles. "Okay, bag out tea. Sugar?" For a moment I'm stunned, thinking it is an endearment. But fortunately, my subconscious kicks in with pursed lips. "No, stupid. Do you take sugar?" "No, thanks." I stare down at my knotted fingers. "Anything to eat?" "No, thank you." I shake my head, and he heads to the counter. I surreptitiously gaze at him from beneath my lashes as he stands in line, waiting to be served. I could watch him all day. He's tall, broad-shouldered, and slim, and the way those pants hang from his hips, oh my! Once or twice he runs his long, graceful fingers through his now dry but still disorderly hair. I like to do that. The thought comes unbidden into my mind, and my face flames. I bite my lip and stare down at my hands again, not liking where my wayward thoughts are headed. "Penny for your thoughts!" Gray is back, startling me. I go crimson. "I was just thinking about running my fingers through your hair and wondering if it would feel so soft to touch." I shake my head. He's carrying a tray, which he sets down on the small, round birch veneer table. He hands me a cup and a saucer, a small teapot, and a side plate bearing a lone tea bag labeled Twinings English Breakfast, my favorite. He has a coffee that bears a wonderful leaf pattern imprinted on the milk. How do they do that? I wonder idly. He also bought himself a blueberry muffin. Putting the tray aside, he sits opposite me and cruises his long legs. He looks so comfortable, so at ease with his body. I envy him. Here's me, all gawky and uncoordinated, barely able to get A to B without falling flat on my face. Your thoughts, he prompts me. This is my favorite tea. My voice is quite breathy, and I simply can't believe I'm sitting opposite of Christian Grey in a coffee shop in Portland. He frowns. He knows I'm hiding something. I pop the tea bag into the teapot and almost immediately fish it out again with my teaspoon. As I place the used tea bag back on the side plate, he cocks his head, gazing quizzically at me. I like my tea black and weak, I mutter as an explanation. I see. Is he your boyfriend? Whoa! What? Who? The photographer. Jose Rodriguez. I laugh, nervous, but curious. What gave him that impression? No, Jose's a good friend of mine. That's all. Why do you think he was my boyfriend? The way you smiled at him and he at you. His gaze holds mine. He's so unnerving. I want to look away, but I'm caught. Spellbound. He's more like family, I whisper. Gray nods, seemingly satisfied with my response, and glances down at his blueberry muffin. His long fingers deftly peel back the paper, and I watch fascinated. Do you want some? He asks, and that amused secret smiles back. No thanks. I frown and stare down at my hands again. And the boy that I met yesterday at the store, he's not your boyfriend? No, Paul's just a friend. I told you yesterday. Oh, this is getting silly. Why do you ask? You seem nervous around men. Holy crap, that's personal. I'm just nervous around you, Gray. I find you intimidating. I flush scarlet, but mentally pat myself on the back for my candor and gaze at my hands again. I hear his sharp intake of breath. You should find me intimidating, he nods. You're very honest. Please don't look down. I like seeing your face. Oh, I glance at him, and he gives me an encouraging but wary smile. It gives me some sort of clue what you might be thinking. He breathes. You're a mystery, Miss Penny. Mistress? Mystery? Mysterious. Fucking hell. Me? There's nothing mysterious about me. I think you're very self-contained, he murmurs. Am I? Wow, how am I imagining that? This is bewildering. Me? Self-contained, no way. Except that when you blush, of course, which is often, I just wish I knew what you were blushing about. He pops a small piece of muffin in his mouth and starts to chew it slowly, not taking his eyes off me, and as if on cue, I blush. Crap! Do you always make such personal observations? I hadn't realized I was. Have I offended you? He sounds surprised. No, I answer truthfully. Good. But you're very high-handed. He raises his eyebrows and, if I'm not mistaken, flushes slightly too. I'm used to getting my own way, Anastasia, he murmurs, in all things. I don't doubt it. Why would you ask me to call you by your first name? I'm surprised my audacity. Why has this conversation become so serious? This isn't going the way I thought it was going to go. I can't believe I'm feeling so antagonistic towards him. It's like he's trying to warn me off. The only people who use my given name are my family and close friends. That's the way I like it. Oh, he still hasn't said, call me Christian. He is a control freak. There's no other explanation. And part of me is thinking maybe it would have been better if Kate had interviewed him. Two control freaks together. Plus, of course, she's almost blonde. Well, strawberry blonde, like all the women in his office. And she's beautiful. My subconscious reminds me. I don't like the idea if Christian and Kate take a sip of my tea, and Gray eats another small piece of his muffin. Are you an only child? He asked. Whoa! He keeps changing direction. Yes! Tell me about your parents. Why does he want to know this? It's so dull. My mom lives in Georgia with her new husband, Bob. My stepdad lives in Montesano. Your father? My father died when I was a little baby. I'm sorry, he mutters, and a fleeting troubled look crosses his face. I don't remember him. And your mother remarried? I snort. You could say that. He frowns at me. You're not giving me much, are you? He says dryly, rubbing his chin as in a deep thought. Neither are you. You've interviewed me once already, and I can recollect some quite probing questions then. He smirks at me. Holy shit! He's remembering the gay question. Don't ask, don't tell. Once again, I'm mortified. In years to come, I know I'll need intensive therapy to not feel this embarrassed every time I recall the moment. I start babbling about my mother. Anything to block that memory. My mother is wonderful. She's an incurable romantic. She is currently on her fourth husband. Christian raises his eyebrows in surprise. I miss her, I continue. She has Bob now. I just hope he can keep an eye on her and pick up the paces when her harebrained schemes don't go as planned. I smile fondly. I haven't seen my mom for so long. Christian is watching me intently, taking occasional sips of his coffee. I really shouldn't look at his mouth. It's unsettling. Do you get along with your stepfather? Of course. I grew up with him. He's the only father I know. And what's he like? Ray? He's taciturn. That's it? Gray asks, surprised. I shrug. What does this man expect? My life story? Taciturn like his stepdaughter? Gray prompts. I refrain from rolling my eyes at him. He likes soccer, European soccer especially, football, and bowling, and fly fishing, and making furniture, and saying too many ends. He's a carpenter, ex-army. I sigh. You lived with him? Yes. My mother met husband number 3 when I was 15. I stayed with Ray. He frowns as if he doesn't understand. You didn't want to live with your mom? He asks. This really is none of his business. Husband number 3 lived in Texas. My home was in Montesano. And, you know, my mom was newly married. I stop. My mother never talks about husband number 3. Where's Gray going with this? This is none of his business. Two can play at this game. Tell me about your parents, I ask. He shrugs. My dad's a lawyer, and my mom is a pediatrician. They live in Seattle. Oh, he's had a affluent upbringing. And I wonder about a successful couple who adopts 3 kids, and one of them turns out to be a beautiful man who takes on a business world and conquers it single-handedly. What drove him to be that way? His folks must be proud. What do your siblings do? Elliot's in construction, and my little sister is in Paris, studying cookery under some renowned French chef. His eyes cloud with irritation. He doesn't want to talk about his family or himself. I hear Paris is lovely, I murmur. Why doesn't he want to talk about his family? Is it because he's adopted? It's beautiful. Have you been? He asked, his irritation forgotten. I've never left mainland USA. So now we're back to Spanish ties. What is he heading? Would you like to go? To Paris? I squeak. This has thrown me. Who wouldn't want to go to Paris? Of course, I concede. But it's England that I really like to visit. He cocks his head to one side, running his index finger across his lower lip. Oh my. Because? I blink rapidly. Concentrate, Penny. It's the home of Shakespeare, Austen, and the Bonnet sisters. Thomas Hardy. I like to see the places that inspire those people to write such beautiful, wonderful books. All this talk of literary regrets reminds me that I should be studying. I glance at my watch. I'd better go. I have to study. For your exams? Yes, they start Tuesday. Where's Miss Conaway's car? In the hotel parking lot. I'll walk you back. Thank you for the tea, Mr. Claw. He smiles odd. I've got a whopping big secret smile. You're welcome, Penny. It's my pleasure. Come. He commands and holds his hand out to me. I take it. Be amused. And follow him out of the coffee shop. We stroll back to the hotel, and I'd like to say it's a compassionable silence. He at least looks his usual calm, collected self. As for me, I'm desperately trying to gauge how our little coffee morning has gone. I feel like I've interviewed for a job, but I'm not sure what for. Do you always wear jeans? He asks out of the blue. Mostly. He nods. We're back at the intersection, across the road from the hotel. My mind is reeling. What an odd question. And I'm aware that our time together is limited. This is it. That was it. And I'm completely blown away. I know. Perhaps he has someone. Do you have a girlfriend? I blurt out. Holy crap. I just said that out loud. His lips quirk up in a half smile and he peers down at me. No, Penny. I don't do the girlfriend thing, he says softly. Oh, what does that mean? He's not gay. Oh, maybe he is. What, he must have lied to me in his interview, and for a moment, I think he's going to follow up with some explanation, some clue, a clue to this cryptic statement, but he doesn't. I have to go. I have to try to reassemble my thoughts. I have to get away from him. I walk forward and I trip, stumbling headlong into the road. Shit, Penny! Gray cries. He tugs the hand that he was holding so hard that I fall back against him just as his cyclist whips by, narrowly missing me, heading the wrong way up the one-way street. It all happens so fast. One minute I'm falling, the next I'm in his arms, and he's holding me tightly against his chest. I inhale his clean, wholesome scent. He smells of freshly laundered linen and some expensive body wash. It's intoxicating. I inhale deeply. Are you okay, Penny? He whispers. He has one arm around me, clasping me to him, while the fingers of his other hand softly trace my face, gently probing, examining me. His thumb brushes my lower lip, and his breath hitches. He's staring into my eyes, and I hold his anxious, burning gaze for a moment, or maybe it's forever, but eventually my attention is drawn to his beautiful mouth, and for the first time in 21 years, I want to be kissed. I want to feel his mouth against mine.
Little shits, that's the end of the book. I hope you liked it. Because, dear God, I don't want to do it anymore. It was too... Oh, shit. 50 Shades of shit. Well, I hope you little fucks enjoyed it. Because I'm going for a go-go gadget nap. Hell no, I'm not kissing you. But I still love you, V. Go-go gadget. Dragon Dildo.